Hello guys, I am Leaflit. Leaflit Mituha. Everything I said is wrong. I love the government so much. We should all move to California. Guys, I am very interested in what guns you have. Please post them in the gun chat. Please post them in the gun chat. Thank you.
After President Donald Trump paused all funding to USAID,
make sure the serial numbers are visible.
or the United States Agency for International Development.
USAID, run by radical lunatics, and we're getting them out.
As our government is wasting millions of our tax dollars overseas.
These are some of the insane priorities that organization has been spending money on. $1.5 million to advance DEI in Serbia's workplaces. $70,000 for a production of a DEI musical in Ireland. $47,000.
Didn't we watch this? Am I thinking of a different one? Oh no, this is new. This is new.
For a transgender opera.
We just saw this part.
In Colombia. $32,000 for a transgender comic book in Peru. I don't know about you, but as an American taxpayer, I don't want my dollars going towards this crap, and I know the American people don't either.
And the more you look into it, the worse it gets, as we apparently paid $500,000 for 37 subscriptions to the liberal publication Politico. $40 million went to South Africa for their transgender prostitutes. And probably the worst part were the millions that went to funding immigration into the country. Most notably, the unaccompanied kids. Tens of millions of dollars in several payments totaling $1.2 billion.
Wait, unaccompanied children? Wait, is that like, they just like send their kids by themselves? Oh, it's trafficking. Oh.
Dollars. So once Americans started noticing, the Democrats...
Did you guys ever watch Sound of Freedom? Holy fuck, man. That shit's so fucked. That's like based on a true story too, right? I think it was based on a true story.
Started panicking.
No one elected Elon Musk to nothing. Elon Musk is a Nazi nepo baby. Take your foot off my neck.
I have never seen the Democrats so aggressively upset over anything. Not Democrat states getting burnt to a crisp and receiving pennies to rebuild. Not Americans being kidnapped in terror attacks overseas. But the taxpayers seeing where their tax dollars are going makes them absolutely lose their minds.
I was making fun of her. I wasn't making fun of Native Americans, okay guys? I was making fun of her.
So if you appreciate knowing what's really...
She deserves it.
...going on, subscribe to Decoy Voice for more clips like this. As congresswomen are shouting, "We gonna be in your face" to the person that's exposing them.
Well, I'm here to tell you that we ain't never left y'all, all right? We are here. We are also going to make sure that they uphold the law. Instead, we are going to be in your face, we are going to be on your ass, and we are going to make sure, you understand what democracy looks like. This ain't it.
Where it sounds like they're openly calling for riots again.
We will not take this.
Doesn't that piss you off though? Doesn't that piss you off, DRC though? She fucking used that in order to get like advantages in life. Like, how do you feel about that? Isn't that fucking irritating? It's so fucked up. Kai says, fuck, no, dude. Like, dude, I would be so mad if I were you guys, man. Cause we have a lot of like Native Americans in chat, and like, dude, she used you guys. She used you guys to like better her position in life. That's fucking insane, actually.
We will fight back. Fight back. Fight back. And as I close out, because I know we've been out here for a long time, and goddamn it, shut down the city.
I'm called white and they say I didn't face any oppression. Wait, is it because you have light skin? Is it because are you like half? It pisses me off when they gaslight is about to happen. All right, say it with 3 unit alpha. Yeah, you're half. Yeah, that's crazy, man. Did you see like her reasoning too? Like she's like it's because I have high cheekbones. Like, bro, what the fuck? What the fuck, dude? That's so crazy. I miss the singing during the DNC. Man, that's like so messed up, dude. Did you see like she became, hold on, I think she actually has the hold on, let me look for it. Elizabeth Warren, first Native American. Hold on, university. I know she like got like some kind of She put like something that she was like the first Native American in like a university or something like that. Harvard listed Warren as a Native American. Here we go. Harvard listed Warren as Native American in its federal affirmation action forms from 1995 to 2004. So like they used her as like a DEI initiative thing. That's fucking insane. Most of us off res was bred out for most part, but I'm like between half and 1/4. Man, that's wild.
Then the EBT class was quick to follow their marching orders.
Elon Musk has got.
She was buff farming. Come on, it was meta. It's just weird to me because like this doesn't have anything to do with U.S. policy. But some latest news here: the current Canadian government has foreign aid set up. Most of the nature of the aid questionable. But instead of getting found out, the federal government erased all traces on the government website. What a cringe ass sign. Cherokee and Creek. Yeah.
Even well into the evening.
It's because, again, it's like I said, I mean, the buff analogy was like kind of on point, that basically they use whatever status that they have, any possible status, they use it as a buff, right? Because societally, it is a buff. You can get advantages from it, right? And again, it's why I'm a fan of, if you're going to have something like that, it should be based on conditions of living, which applies to everybody, rather than it being like racially specific. Basically, if you don't have it like that, people are incentivized to claim different statuses, whether it's some kind of minority status, or if it's the status of, what's the word? LGBT status, for instance. You can use all of these things to get an advantage in any sort of hiring, grants, all sorts of things like that.
And I keep seeing this sentiment of evil.
It is, and the buff stack.
The U.S. government lies.
The buff
We are
stack
angry.
too.
The U.S. government are liars. Elon Musk, here is the truth. Democrats,
It's not just incentivization, it's practically a requirement to even the playing field. It's not, hold on. So what you're saying is like you basically need the buffs, otherwise you're fucked, basically. Is that what you're saying? Which is why, by the way, and like I'm not saying everyone is like this. But there are a couple claims that you can make that are fucking invincible. One of them is non-binary is invincible, and so is bisexual. Those are both invincible because you can claim either of those and then just like not even worry about it because nobody can doubt you on it, right? Because if you claim non-binary, you can get like the same buffs as like trans people without having to do anything. And again, I'm not saying that there aren't people that like actually view themselves that way. There are people that view themselves that way. That they view themselves as like kind of like they view themselves like in some kind of like androgynous way, and that's kind of like how they like to present themselves. There are people like that, but it is those are the invincible buffs because you can say you're bisexual and then just never act on it. And like, you could just be like, oh yeah, well, I just don't feel, I'm attracted to, but I just don't want to have like, I just don't want to have a girlfriend right now or something like that. Right. You could, they're trying to hard to nerf bisexual, but yeah, right now the best buff is non-binary. It's like, it's available to almost everybody. It's the easiest griftable buff basically. So it's like, and they stack, right? So like people will be like, oh, I'm like part native or whatever. Like, I'm part native, and then they'll stack that buff with like gay or non-binary, something like that, and they'll just get instant clout. Yeah, that's the problem.
Elon is receiving our tax information, when I'm not really worried that a billionaire and his tech geniuses are going to open up a credit card account in my name. I'm more worried about Congress taking my money to fund news outlets that turn around and lie for them, then putting us trillions of dollars in debt in result. As the Democrats are now employing very familiar wording,
push legislation to prevent unlawful meddling in the Treasury Department's payment systems and protect Americans across the country. We call our legislation Stop the Steal.
They are raiding the government, attempting to steal taxpayer money.
I'm sorry, but stealing back my stolen money isn't called stealing, it's called recovering. They're only calling it stealing because they...
The problem with that is it's so fucked up to like people that actually have that. Like imagine like you have like a person who's actually, I'm gonna be real, I don't really know much about like, I don't know much about like reservation, like Native American reservations and stuff. Are the conditions actually bad there? Because that's the common view of it, is that the conditions are bad. Okay, so DRC Gaming, who is Native American, says yes, they are bad. So the thing that's fucked up about it is if you have a person that is like living on a reservation, right? DRC Gaming, you have a person that's actually living on living there, and they actually are struggling. You have Elizabeth Warren claiming the same status as them in order to receive benefits. Does that make sense? Do you see why it's terrible? She's basically like riding on the back of a person that actually is going through those struggles, which is why like my solution to that is it should be the struggle should be the basis of like any of that. Do you see what I'm saying? It should not be based on the Native American part. It should be based on the struggle part. Overcoming those sorts of struggles actually does show character. Do you see what I mean? It's like it's actually related to your character, to your character that is not immutable.
Can only see it from their perspective, as they think they're entitled to wasting my tax dollars. They want us to get all riled up like them, so they're going to those same tired talking points of stealing democracy. No, Donald Trump was elected democratically, so that's how this works, and them saying nobody elected Elon Musk, when in actuality, we kinda did. This is exactly as advertised.
I'm gonna have Elon Musk, he is dying to do this.
Thank you, Lan. Have a good one.
He's a great business guy, and he's a great cost cutter. You've seen that.
They even had a several-hour-long conversation on Twitter Spaces discussing in detail how they would dismantle government spending. We keep...
Age says, I can remember when she was trying to act all smug when she did her DNA test, but like it doesn't... See, the thing is that doesn't matter at all, because the DNA test doesn't show anything. I would say the same thing about, like, let's say a Native American person that was like super rich, right? Like if you had a Native American person who grew up in a rich family, like say like I'm just gonna throw out a scenario here. Say there's a Native American person and their dad is a billionaire, and they grew up with everything that they could fucking want, right? And it's so easy for, they had access to everything. You're telling me that they deserve the same quote unquote victimhood status that a person on a reservation deserves. Do you see what I'm saying? If you have Native American A, grew up in a billionaire household who has all sorts of money, doesn't, everything that they could ever want. You have Native American B, lived on, a reservation, doesn't have anything. You're telling me that because they're the same race, that's all that matters in terms of like benefits, or not benefits, in terms of aid, in terms of aid and consideration. When you put all the races on the tier list to calculate the victimhood status buff.
My pops had a native friend, and he said a lot of the suffering if people on the reservations comes from the few in councils that delegate all the funds and make the rules. They also make sure that their own people are addicted to alcohol and gambling, so all their tribal money
gets back into the casinos. Is that true? Does anybody know? Is that true? Is the problem is the problem like the leaders? I can see that. I don't know if that's true. That's not the societally talked about story. You hear about it all the time, but then the source is not from the tribal leaders. It's usually the source is the government. My band is quite corrupt. No, they passed out drunk on the side of the road. Holy shit. How do you solve...
Something my dad says is there is generational depression on the reservations.
Generational depression? But like why? Alcoholism does not originate in alcohol. That's what I think. I know that sounds retarded, but I think the alcohol is not the problem. The problem is outside of the alcohol, and the alcohol is the Band-Aid. That's literally every addiction. Yeah, that's what I've seen. That's what I'm saying. So then what is the problem? That's what I'm looking for. Like, what is the problem, right? It just seems like very obviously that something's going on. Something wrong is going on here. It's like, how do we fix that? Because the alcoholism, again, is the Band-Aid. That's not the problem. So like, you can't blame the alcohol, right? Because if you're blaming the alcoholism for the problem, then it's a circular blame. Does that make sense? So who's causing the problems? Because again, you hear, I think the mainstream perspective on that is that it's the government, right? It's the government that's causing it. It's the government oppressing the Native Americans. Is like, that's the common perception of it. So is it that, or is it the tribal leaders doing it? Who has the power over the reservations? Because aren't the reservations like sovereign? The tribal leaders are their own government within the reservations. So are they just suck at it? Like, I don't know, they just suck at taking care of their own people. So it's just like it's just like the corruption was passed off from the federal government to the tribal government. It's just basically the corruption exists. That sucks. I only saw that. Is there anything preventing people from leaving? If you're living on a reservation and shit sucks really fucking bad, can't you just leave and just live somewhere else? You can, but you can't come back. Their lifestyle is paid by a stipend, so they don't have to move away or find goals. Dude, I don't know. That just seems like proof of my theory that government handouts are always bad because they incentivize people to do nothing. It doesn't inspire people to create, basically. It keeps you it keeps you perpetually enslaved to the stipend or whatever. It's the same thing with welfare, right? You're just perpetually enslaved to welfare. Dude, that sucks, dude.
Seeing this fabricated narrative that Trump voters are regretting their decisions as he immediately secured the border, investigated USAID, and most recently, protected women's rights in sports. When this is everything we wanted in just a couple weeks.
Yeah, welfare is 100% a trap. It's a trap to get you basically stuck on the government providing for you.
The only ones panicking are the establishment Democrats about to be exposed.
This entire tangent happened because fucking Elizabeth Warren showed up on screen for 2 seconds. That was the entire tangent.
As they're blocked from even getting in the USAID building.
You are aware this agency is very...
Obviously, I want people to be as prosperous as possible. So it's interesting to look into a situation in which people are... one of the worst situations that people are in American life. So it's kind of interesting.
Busy currently, and they are not able to take a meeting currently.
It's hard to leave when your whole family and culture is there. I am conservative, but it's really hard and nuanced. It isn't easy as it sounds to fix. Yeah, that is true too, right? You have family there.
They will be in contact.
Wait, most of us live off of $800 a month, but minimum wage is $1,160. Oh, ones that can't work? Wait, why not? Why can't they work? Especially nowadays, you can work at home very easily. There's no local economy. How is that possible? See, this is fucking blowing my mind. How is this possible? It's the middle of nowhere, but I mean, there's people that live in the countryside too, and they grow crops, and even in buttfuck nowhere, there's people that have they have farms and stuff. How is this possible? They don't create anything on their own. I mean, how is that possible? Even in the middle of nowhere, you could do it. Dude, you could literally do the most stereotypical Native American thing and make freaking trinkets, and you could sell that and make more money than that. How is this possible? You could sell it on eBay, sell it at the farmer's market and make more money than that. How is that possible?
Leaflit: I get government money just for my autism, but if I work too much in a month, more than about 3 days a week on low-wage job, I will G.
Yeah, see, that's the bullshit, Flaming. That's the bullshit right there, is that's how they keep you indebted to them. Because that's how they keep you on the government tit, right? Because that's how they keep you sucking on the government tit, is because if you reach a certain amount of self-sustainability, then they remove it instantly, which makes it not even worth it to work in the first place. We really need to rework this shit. It's fucking insane. How has this not been fixed? How is nobody even trying to fix this? It's freaking ridiculous. You need to stop the abuse of income taxes. Yeah. It's because they make it so it's not worth it to work. Because the instant you start working, you start making above a certain amount, they freaking sweep your legs from underneath you. You lose a lot of your kind of low income things that you can have, food stamps and stuff like that. And then it becomes a point where you're working all the time, but then you're simultaneously getting less than you would have if you did nothing. Man, that's fucked. It really seems like the only solution really right now. And I guess this is why so many people are stuck in this kind of perpetual shit, right? Because it's what is your option really besides just sucking it up and then working for the same benefit as someone sitting on their ass and then just praying that eventually you'll make more? No, I don't think that raising the minimum wage fixes the problem. This is the argument against minimum wage.
It's why I get so mad when they send money abroad. How about we try to fix the reservations instead of BS across the world?
I agree
would
with
love
that 100%.
At least one good attempt by the government to fix the reservations here in America.
I care far more about native, our native citizens than I care about people abroad. 100%. And it's not even close, right? It's not even it's an exponential factor of care. Thank you for the bits, Fillions. Yeah, I mean, it's so annoying, man. So the problem with, my thought on minimum wage, the problem with it is if you raise minimum wage, it makes jobs less worth it to fill. There are some jobs that are not really worth that much to pay someone. Does that make sense? Like it's they're and what that's going to do is it's going to cause people to just not hire people for those positions or make people work twice as hard. Fiona, thank you so much for thank you for the 5 gift subs. So like, say you have a situation where there's a position that like, I'll just give you like a completely made up situation, right? Say there's a position that takes 2 people, and say let's just like I'm just gonna throw a number out there. Let's say the minimum wage is $5, right? There's a position that takes 2 people to fill, and you think, oh yeah, it's worth about $10. I'll hire like 2 people. And then then now like you increase the minimum wage. You're like, oh, it wasn't really worth it. I don't really have the money to like fill that position for that much. So now you have one person and you make them work 2 times. You make one person work that amount for 2 people. But then it's like not directly 1-to-1. It's usually a little bit less. And then people will start to automate even more because they don't want to hire people for menial tasks, right? Interesting about minimum wage too is that it siphons money from trading partners out of the area who hire on minimum wage and don't raise theirs. Yeah, that too. Like if you raise minimum wages, people are gonna look elsewhere for. I mean, it's just how it works. For instance, if California raises its minimum wage for, I don't know, let's say like you pay someone to write articles. If you can outsource that job, you will. Let's say you're a journalist, right? I know about this because I did this for a while. Say you're like a games journalist, right? And you need to hire someone to write articles like, oh yeah, go fetch the news for me and then like write an article about that news. You live in an area that has high minimum wage. You're just going to hire someone from a different state, which basically disqualifies everyone within your state from actually obtaining that job. Do you see what I mean? So like, why would I hire someone in LA that costs 3 times as much to hire when I can just hire someone from, I don't know, Oklahoma? Do you see what I mean? Or yeah, ChatGPT. Oh, not worth it anymore. I'm just going to throw the fucking article and ChatGPT tell it to rewrite it into an article. Yeah, or India or China, etc. There is like some level at which it's worth it to hire someone locally, right? Because then you can talk to that person. It's easier to understand, stuff like that. Yeah.
Shortly, and that best to contact the Department of State at this time if you need any further comments.
Who is they?
The front office of the administrator.
I talked to the security guard just in there. He said he has been given specific orders to prevent employees of USAID from entering the building today. And I just find that to be absolutely ridiculous. This is no way to govern. This is no way to treat public servants. And this is no way for us to conduct our foreign policy as a country.
No, this is what the people voted for. This senator just forgets that he works for us. We pay his paycheck, and if we want him sitting on the sidewalk to watch as we uncover their corruption, that's exactly where his shift should be. But now, what looks like state-sponsored media is parroting their propaganda.
We have learned just how fragile our democracy is and how relatively easy it is for someone who's determined and really well-funded to steal and corrupt it. If you are going to write a playbook for how to steal a democracy in less than 20 days, it would sure look a lot like this.
What's happening right now is a hostile takeover of the U.S. government. There's no other way to describe it.
These like for the people Democrats, for the people. Oh, now the democracy is being stolen, huh? Do you remember how like you couldn't say that before? You said anything like that, like, oh, the democracy is being stolen. You said any of that, you were like a fucking traitor. Do you remember that? Yeah.
I mean, this takeover is also happening at the direction of his unelected best friend, Elon Musk.
It's kind of funny to talk about this being state-sponsored media when it's literally the state's mouthpiece rearranged from press secretary to member of the press, essentially reiterating the same thing she said in her last role. And now we know why.
Yeah, I remember that.
Dems love democracy until they lose.
Yeah, you guys remember the orange man won the popular vote? Damn. That's like the best thing about it, by the way, is that he won the popular votes. They literally cannot say anything because they would have immediately been like, oh, my electoral college, so fucking scam, bro. They would have went right to that. They can't even use that anymore.
Associated Press apparently took in millions of the taxpayers' money. Reuters also received millions for testing and measuring large-scale deception. And Politico...
You guys remember this. This is my favorite right here.
After President Donald Trump paused all funding to USAID, or the United States...
This is my favorite right here.
Looks like Joe Biden has stuck code.
Saved your political life in the primaries this year. They have things they want from you.
This is my favorite right here. One of them is a black
woman running mate. What do you say to them?
What I say to them is that I'm not acknowledging anybody who is being considered, but I guarantee you there are multiple black women.
Come to New York, VP Biden.
I will.
It's a long way until November. We got more questions.
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
The comment may have.
Ooh, it's real. Led, that's real. That's real. Yeah, no, but everyone forgets that happened. That's a real quote, man. That's real. Hold on, wait, there's another one. There's another like really good one. Hold on. It's you guys ready for more Biden?
I mean, you got the first sort of mainstream African American who is articulate and bright and clean and a nice looking guy. I mean, that's a storybook, man.
You remember that? You remember that, guys? Oh dear.
Received over $8 million taxpayer dollars aside from those subscriptions, to which alarmingly,
The
once that
senile
government
thing is
money was
recent.
cut off, they
Biden's
apparently
always been
couldn't
a hothead who
Thanks
puts
for
his
the
foot in his
vid.
mouth.
Thank you. Oh man.
pay their people. Now they're calling it a glitch, and coincidences
As
do
someone
happen.
who had him
but
as
honestly,
a senator
if
through
this
their
so-called
entire
news
childhood, he was always that way.
Yep. But you know, Trump is really racist, right, guys? Where's the Trump racist? Where's the racist Trump quotes, by the way? Where are the racist Trump quotes? Where are those at? Surely there's racist Trump quotes.
Organization can't exist without being propped up by the taxpayers. They truly are state-sponsored media, so no wonder they always sounded like Chinese-style state-sponsored media. And right on cue, here's CNN siding with China.
Donald Trump says, "We don't care. You..."
Like, what is the possible context that you can put it into, guys, right? So let's analyze it. He says, if you don't know if you're for him or Trump, then you ain't black. What possible good context could you have for that? Like, in what, like, if you were to, like, is it a joke? Like, is it a joke? Is it, like, how could we frame it in a way that it, can we glaze what he said to make it not racist? The only thing that you could say is that it was a joke, but it's not even funny if it's a joke.
Go die. That's the message from the United States government.
But the thing is, it's not even a funny joke. Like, it's like, it doesn't even make sense. Like, what kind of joke is that?
It is the wrong message to be sending, and it opens up the door for China and other people say, at least we're a stable government who's not going to leave you out here to die. That's what this is not an abstract conversation for people around the world.
It's literally gone beyond parody at this point. They'd rather us switch to Chinese communism than let the taxpayers see where their tax dollars go. Because, spoiler alert, they don't go where they say they are.
Trump should cut everything completely. He shouldn't even make it 90 whatever days. He should cut it completely. We don't need it. It rather goes to other individuals, but not us.
We have depended on USAID for over 60 years, and the moment the owners of the money say, let's take a 90-day pause so that I audit where my money is going, suddenly the whole country goes into a frenzy. And this should be a moment of reflection for Uganda and the African continent in general. We have been asking for a very long time to be liberated from colonialism, neo-colonialism, and now that the opportunity presents itself, for some reason, we are complaining. Because
that's a damn good point.
Get something straight. Often the money given to us in foreign aid is lost to corruption, misuse, depleted and overrated salaries to particular individuals, or sometimes we lose billions of money that are unaccounted for.
Yeah, I want all of these countries to do well. I want fucking, I want my Ugandan kung fu schools. I want my Ugandan movies, guys, okay? I want Uganda to do well.
And it's actually eye-opening to see all this going down in real time.
I just don't think giving them free money is the way.
Ago, I hired a guy from Nigeria, and he told me how American aid destroys the local economy. How it's hard for anybody to build something simple as a clothing business when America just drops in.
Nah, dude, Bollywood has nothing on Ugandan films. Like, dude, Ugandan films are way crazier. I know it's been a while. Maybe we'll watch some on stream. Do you guys want to watch Bad Black? We could totally watch Bad Black. We have permission to watch it, actually.
A bunch of junk for free, and that's if the aid actually gets there. As I remember him showing me a compilation.
I have to play Red Dead.
Nigerian politicians pretending to faint when being exposed for corruption, and that was a compilation of the constant politicians that steal from the people. And finally, America is getting to the bottom of it.
With money going to all sorts of groups that shouldn't deserve to get any money, with the money, I'd like to see what the kickbacks are. How much money has been kicked back? Who would spend that kind of money
So now this is starting to make sense.
We won't rest! We won't rest! We won't rest!
As every inch of information we received about USAID points to the laundering of our money, and I have a hunch that this is eventually going to lead directly to them. So if you appreciate my concise, lighthearted commentary on how America is finally back, hopefully I've earned your subscription and we can chat again soon.
That was a good video. I feel like half of the time I commented on something that wasn't even like related, only tangentially related to the video again.